Welcome to the Profitpreneur Power Play Podcast, your daily dose of strategies, insights, and action steps to grow your business and build your freedom. It's time to stop playing small and start making power plays.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Profitpreneur Power Play Podcast. I am your host, Valerie Walton, and with us today, we got a very special guest, but I'm getting ahead of myself because we got to talk for a second. Do you realize there is an invisible currency that makes every business work? And today's guest knows exactly why some entrepreneurs struggle to earn it and what to do about it. So today we have Dr. Bob Clarke, who has spent over 30 years running IVF labs, helping to bring more than 30,000 babies into the world while quietly building a business on the side. And he went on to become a six-figure earner in both healthcare and online marketing. He's retired from healthcare years ahead of his schedule and now leads the Part-Time Prosperity Tribe, where he helps entrepreneurs create freedom without burnout. So his topic today is why people don't trust you yet. And I'm really excited for this. So let's bring him out right now. Hey, Bob.
What's up, Val? How's it going? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Oh, everything's going great. I'm excited. And I can't wait to see what you're going to say.
This is going to be a good one. I think you're going to really like it. I think hopefully everybody will like it. But let's dig into it.
Awesome. All right. I'm out of here.
All right, guys. What's going on? Good to see everybody. So Val was talking about the invisible currency of online marketing, of making money online. And it is trust. So this might be one of the most important discussions we ever have, because without trust, your results in your online business are not going to be very good. All right, so let's talk about it. Trustworthiness is a core value that many of us, probably most of us, we aspire to, right? To have someone say they trust you, or the ultimate compliment, right? I trust you with my life, is to me one of the best things you can hear. And that doesn't come like with one exposure, right? That comes multiple times over and over and over again, displaying your trustworthiness. That's how that comes. And it's very similar to business, right? Personal life, in this case, is very similar to business. So the big question is, do people trust you enough when it comes to following you and ultimately buying from you in your business? So, $1 million question, right? We've all heard the saying, right? People buy from those they know, like, and trust. Well, I personally believe that of the three of them, trust is most important. So I will buy from someone I don't know if the product looks good enough. I will even buy from people I don't particularly like, but I will never buy from someone I don't trust. Right? Never. So let me give you a real life example, right? I had surgery a while back, and I did my due diligence, and I found a surgeon who was top rated in the kind of surgery that I needed. And when my wife and I met with him, kind of to see if it was going to be a match, hey, good morning, Jeff. I didn't particularly like him. And like most surgeons, right? He didn't have a great bedside manner. He looked like he was sort of socially awkward. So I didn't particularly like him. I didn't know him at all, except for what I read about him and the reviews. But then he started telling me all about his experience and how many surgeries of the exact same type that he'd done with a mortality rate of 0. And I trusted him. So didn't really know him, didn't like him too much when I met him, but I trusted him. And that was enough for me. And it worked out great, right? I'm in. Let's go. Here's another example. It's a true story in business. So there was a big product launch a while back, and there were many affiliates for this. And the best bonus deal that I found, sometimes I'll look around to see who's offering the best bonus package that a lot of these affiliates offer. So I was going through and I found the really, really good bonus package for this particular offer. The only problem was I didn't trust the person who was offering it. I'd had some bad run-ins. I heard a lot of bad things about this person. So I didn't buy from them. I bought from someone else who I trusted, who didn't have as good a bonus package, but the trust was there. Right. And so that's just really how important it is. Right. I don't think I'm alone in that. I think, Jeff's here, Genevieve's, I see Genevieve's here. Would you guys buy from somebody who you don't trust? It's going to take a while for that. There's a delay, but I'm going to bet the answer is no. Right? I'm going to bet the answer is no. One of the things that Kim, Val, and I, and Sonny, and Bree have going for us is that people, our tribe, they trust us. And Val will agree with this. We've earned that trust, right? We've earned that trust over years and years of showing up and earning that trust, right? We've earned it. If you don't feel like your tribe or your audience or people online particularly trust you yet, this is the rest of this talk will be for you. Okay. And to be honest, unless you've been doing this a while, people probably don't trust you yet. And that's why, like I was thinking about this before, that's why when you join an MLM business, what's the first thing that your upline has you do? Right? They have you make a list of your best contacts, and they want you to go to your most close friends and their family. Why? Because they know that most likely those people trust you, right? They trust you. That's why they have you do that, right? And you're likely to make some sales and probably stay in because hopefully your family and your close friends trust you. That's why they do that. So let's go into some reasons why maybe people don't trust you yet. So see if you see yourselves in any of these factors. Number one, you haven't shown up consistently, right? In this business, it's very much out of sight, out of mind. So if you're not showing up consistently in your business, you're not building credibility. You're not building credibility. And I will say from my experience that just showing up consistently can breed trust. So, it's not a one-time thing. It takes time. But if you are consistently showing up to kind of be helpful and to help your audience, to help your tribe, they will come to trust you. But if they don't trust you, it's quite likely that you're not showing up consistently. Number two, your message keeps changing. You ever been on someone's email list where they're all over the place, right? 1 week they're selling this, another week they're selling that, the third week they're selling something else. And then all of a sudden they tell you, you know what, I'm changing my target market. And you're like, what the heck, when someone keeps changing their message like that, they don't feel reliable and you're not going to trust them. So if you're doing something like that, you need to really hone in on who your target audience is and what you're offering them, and don't offer them too much, right? That's the problem. So that's the second thing. Your message keeps changing. Thirdly, you're leading with tactics or strategies and not connection, right? I was guilty of this. We all know that people buy people first, right? And if you feel transactional to your audience, you won't be trustworthy in their eyes. So you need to make a connection, right? Get personal. Try to get a personal connection with your audience, either through social media or through your email list or video, right? And you just can't be like always transactional, like always going for the sale, right? Always asking for this, always asking for that. You got to go for that connection. The fourth one is you're making it about you and not them. And that's kind of goes with the one before, right? The fastest way to lose trust is to make your content sound like a resume instead of, a mirror, instead of look, in other words, you don't want to talk about you as much as you want to talk about them. And I see that mistake a lot, is that everything that people do is me, where it should be you. So that's another mistake people make. And the last one, number 5, is the biggest one. Ready? You don't keep your word. You don't keep your word. It's the biggest one. You overpromise. I'm not speaking directly to you, but people overpromise and don't deliver, right? They underdeliver. Worst thing you can do. You say one thing, but you never follow through. You talk a good game, but you don't show up, right? When you don't keep your word, it's going to come back to bite you. So here's the thing about trust. In my experience, I think, Val, you can tell me if you've also felt this way. Let me go back. Reason 3. Sorry, reason 3. I'm just reading your thing here, Val. Reason 3 is you're leading with tactics, and not connection. Okay, sorry if I cut out there, guys. So, I don't know whether it's my Wi-Fi or not. I thought it was okay, but see, this isn't the first time that's happened. So, if I cut out again, just give me a yell. Okay. Back to where I was. Yeah, trust takes a long time to build and a millisecond to break. Right? Trust takes a long time to build and a millisecond to break. It doesn't seem fair because you spend so much time building trust and you can blow it in 1 second by not being truthful, by focusing on yourself instead of your target audience, right? There's lots of ways to lose trust, just as there's lots of ways to gain it. But the biggest one, the absolute biggest one, is that you don't keep your word. That's the kiss of death when it comes to trust. So in the time remaining, let's flip this around. Let's talk about specific ways you can build trust with your audience so that, it's like almost like a pig. I think of it like a piggy bank, right? And on this piggy bank, it says trust. And every time you do something that's trustworthy with your audience, you make a little deposit in there. And hopefully, you ever see those video games where the pig gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, like it's going to explode? That's what you want your trust piggy bank to look like, bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Because, like I said, it can deflate in a second, right? It's crazy, but that's the way it works in life. So let's talk about some specific ways that you can build trust with your audience. And if I want to sum it up in one sentence, I just say basically do the opposite of what I just told you. That ways that you lose trust, right? Just do the opposite. But let's go through it. Okay. These are ways you can build trust. So I already talked about ways you can lose trust. Let's build it up the other way. Number 1, and this, after I just said what I said, I think you understand. The biggest one is keep your word. Do what you say you're going to do. Always. Right? Under promise, but over deliver. Show up when you say you're going to show up. Do what you say you're going to do. Be reliable, because reliability in many ways equals trust. So if you did nothing else from what I'm going to talk about today, if you get one thing out of this, it's I need to keep my word with my tribe. That's the first thing I need to do is keep my word. If you do only that, you will build trust. They may not know you well, they may not like you, but they'll trust you. And if they trust you, if the offer's good enough, they'll buy from you. So that's the big one, right? Keep your word always. Lead with transparency. So what do I mean by lead with transparency? Be honest about where you are in your journey, what you're learning, what's working, what's not. Take people on your journey. That's always a great way to build trust when maybe you don't have the results yet, is, being honest about where you are and admitting when things don't work, celebrating when things do work, having people celebrate with you, because this authentic vulnerability really builds rapport and trust. And people really like that. So the next one is really care about those you are serving. Really care about those you are serving. So you want to make it all about them and not you. Biggest thing here, guys, I would say, in my experience, is don't be in it for the buck. And Val, I think you can probably attest this. It's so tempting to promote something that's maybe a higher ticket and the commission is great, even though it may not be the best fit for your tribe. It's tempting. I'm not going to say this. I've been tempted many times. But if you can hold true to your value of audience first, that means that if that high ticket offer will not really help your audience, do not promote it to them, because the money you make is minimal compared to the trust that you'll lose. Ooh, that was good. I just came up with that. That was good. All right. And then finally, show up consistently so they don't forget about you. Right. I already said out of sight, out of mind. You've got to be showing up consistently, on social or somehow for them to keep you front of mind. So one of the things that works great to build trust quickly is to tell a true story about yourself that kind of shows your humanity. All right. Nothing builds trust faster than being honest, talking about your mistakes, your doubts, your lessons learned along the way. Maybe share a short story about how a time when you failed, but you pivoted, you learned something real, and then you tie it back to their struggle, right? Maybe they're feeling the same way. It makes you relatable and it makes you credible. So I'm always a big fan of telling a story, a true story about yourself, right? Don't make it up. That kind of shows, your vulnerability, your humanity. So when I tell the story of the humiliation that I felt doing my very first YouTube video, where I was nervous, stiff, robotic. That was one of the comments I got from it. You look like a robot. When I tell people that story of humiliation, people can relate because a lot of people are scared of doing videos. But when I tell them that I got over that fear, I just kept doing it, and now it's second nature, and now I make money from my videos, that gives them hope, right? But listen, if you're still at the stage where you just started doing video and you're robotic, right, and you're nervous and you're shaking a little bit, tell that story anyway, because people will relate to you, and then keep them updated as you progress through it. Yeah, Jeff, you got some stories, I'm sure, man. I'm sure you've been doing this a while. So when I tell that story, people relate to it. When I tell the story of how I prepared this great webinar and nobody showed up to it, but I did it anyway, people can relate to that because, maybe that's happened to them, or maybe that's one of their fears, that nobody will show up. People can relate to that. And both of those things have happened to me. So, when you tell that kind of story, it shows, number one, that you're willing to be vulnerable and you're relatable. And with both those things come trust eventually. Okay. But again, when you tell those stories, it's best if you can tell them what you did next or what you're going to do next to get out of it. So when I tell the story about doing a webinar and nobody showed up, I follow that up with, now I get lots of people on my webinars and people buy from me on the webinars, and it's a skill that I'm learning and getting better at. So it gives them some hope. Maybe they had a webinar where nobody showed up, but it gives them hope that, hey, this can get better. So my first video was humiliating, but I kept doing them. My webinar where nobody showed up was disappointing, but I kept doing them, right? That's what earns their trust. Not what you're promoting, not tactics, not strategies, and certainly not unkept promises. Those will destroy trust. So it's all about, I'm just going to wrap it up here. It's all about keeping your word, keeping your promises, showing up consistently, putting your prospect first before the sale. And if you do these things, you'll be making deposits in that piggy bank of trust. And it'll start growing. And eventually, you're going to make more money because people trust you. Okay, Val, that's what I got you for you today. Hope that helped everybody out today.
Oh, that was awesome. Oh,
A little
okay.
piggy bank of trust. Huh?
Yes. That definitely hits home for me. And this is something that I was raised on, you guys. Okay. So like, for example, for those of you that don't know, I grew up in a household where it was very, there's a lot of law stuff going on. So my dad was a cop. My mom was a court transcriber, right? And she got to work from home. So that was crazy in the 80s. Somebody's working from home. That wasn't as common as it is now. Our family was known for showing up, being dependable, being reliable. That was just a part of having that good family name. And so I grew up with that. And when I started my first business, that was something that was a main focus. I have to have integrity. I have to do what I say I'm going to do. I have to keep my word. Now, mind you, I started my first business at 12, but that was important to me even back then. And I've been an entrepreneur my entire adult life. And that is something I think everybody can agree. I hope everybody can agree. If there's one thing about Val, she's consistent. She's doing that. I can keep that word for you guys, because that means a lot to be a woman or a man of a person's word. So I love that you brought these up, Bob, because this is so important. It really is not so much about the product or the comp plan per se. The most important thing that's going to help you get paid is how you show up.
Yeah.
So
And
really,
the thing that I really wanted people to get was, if you have a business like this, there will be times you'll be tempted to promote something that may not be exactly what your audience needs or wants.
yeah.
But because the commission is staring you in the face and you need the money, sometimes it's really hard to keep that integrity in place. But I always think that's the universe testing you. Like, that's when you really have to, double down on your integrity.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad you brought that up. For those of you that are watching that might have just popped in, this is exactly where we help you in the Profitpreneur to create your foundation on. What are your core values? What are the things that you stand for? And just nothing can take away from that. Because when you start to focus on that first and then look for the businesses, because trust me, I look for the money. I'm paying attention to the money. What's the comp plan look like? What's this look like? How does the money and the commissions work for me? But I look at that after looking at whether or not I feel that this is, because your audience is trusting you to lead them. So I look at, does this fit my core values? Because my audience is in alignment with me and my core values. That's why they know and like me as well as trust me, right? So if we start off with that and then you go and look for the opportunity, that is so much better than doing it from what Bob was just describing, right? Where it's like, I need the money. See, now we're in this place of lack, And when you're in that place, your frequency comes down, and yeah, you'll grab anything. And even though the money sounds good, it doesn't fit. It's not in alignment, and that's never going to work. You're going to be feeling on the inside, being pulled in all these different directions, and tossing and turning at night, and eventually just being like, what am I doing this for? Or you'll lose people because they'll lose faith in you, and you don't want that. Right. So it's oh, this is so good. I just love this entire topic.
I knew you would like this topic.
Oh yeah, this is really good. And Genevieve said great duplication points from different people. Thank you so much, Genevieve. Yeah, this is definitely the way to duplicate, right? Because duplication is less about you guys doing the same steps, duplicating the same steps. It's more about duplicating how to go about getting the result.
Yeah.
And sometimes people make those synonymous, but they're not always the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I would
Definitely
make
things we
one more point about that is that a lot of people will say to me, like, how do I stand out from everybody else in my company selling the same thing?
Mhm.
This is one of the ways.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Being in integrity, showing up, not breaking your word ever.
Mhm.
If
And
you
it's
do those things, you'll stand out to people.
oh yeah, for sure. For sure. So yeah, we talk a lot about be yourself, be authentic, but make sure that part of your authenticity is showing up and
And being
and
truthful.
keeping your word. Work on that. Work on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right, Bob, thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
You guys, here's the truth. People don't buy from the best pitch, okay? They buy from the person they believe. If they think you full of it, ain't no commissions coming over here, okay? If your audience doesn't trust you yet, it's not a character flaw, it's a clarity problem. So when you get consistent, transparent, a little more vulnerable, you align or become more aligned in your message, trust starts compounding. And so does your business. And inside of the Profitpreneur community, where you can grab your 14-day trial membership, we'll help you. We'll help you to master that consistency. There's a really great module on this, by the way, so that your message, your brand, and your systems all say the same thing. You can trust me. And that is what speaks to the soul of your customers, your clients, and your team. So go ahead and start that 14-day trial. You'll see the link for Bob inside the description box. And here's the thing. Once people trust you, everything else gets easier. Everything.
That's
Including
true.
your confidence. So
That's
make sure
true.
you do that. Yeah. All right. Oh, before we go, Jeff said another one, right? Another page and a half of notes. I'm so
Man,
glad you're getting value out of
we're
it.
filling up those notebooks, Jeff.
That's right. So you guys be like Jeff. Get your notes out. We'll be back here tomorrow. And again, make sure you share this video out with as many people as possible, your fellow business owners, your team, all that good stuff, because it's about time we hear a little bit more positivity and help each other to elevate and grow. So again, thank you so much. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same channel.
Bye, guys.